When Harry came over here and we were hearing a lot about sort of what was going on with their relationship, he was by his father's side and he said that he wasn't able to catch up with him in May. There's been, after the BBC interview, a period of relative quiet in terms of...
Blow for Meghan. This was a serious project.
Yeah, a Hollywood insider says we're 2 years into Netflix and Meghan securing the rights to make this movie, and there's no director, no casting calls, no cast. The writer's strike has come and gone. There's just simply no excuse.
It was the kind of night every celebrity dreams of. A glittering red carpet, a crowd of the most influential people in the entertainment world, and the unmistakable hum of cameras capturing every smile, every wave, every flash of couture. The Critics' Choice Awards 2025 was in full swing, and it promised to be the event of the season. But as the A-list streamed through the gates, something unexpected happened. And it happened to two people who, just a few years ago, were seen as untouchable.
In terms of where the relationship was at, why do you think now, very much now, we're hearing so much about it?
I think it's...
Where's it coming from is, I guess, what I'm asking.
So that BBC interview...
Away, Meghan's camp is leaking stories that she's not done yet fighting to stay on with Netflix in a desperate bid. They claim she is still in the midst of negotiations. So with love, Meghan, season 52, here we come.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, dressed to command attention, walked toward the entrance with the confidence of people who knew their presence mattered. After all, this was Hollywood, the very industry they've spent years trying to conquer since stepping down from royal duty. But just a few steps away from the red carpet, everything froze. Security, under explicit instructions from event organizers, stopped them in their track. The verdict? No wristbands, no official invitation. And in this world, those two details are everything.
I'm sure that they had that interview booked in the diary before they knew the outcome of the case. And Harry probably imagined that he was going to go in there and give this plea for reconciliation with his family. Then he saw he'd lost the case and just was furious.
Prince Harry has reportedly offered the royal family a peace offering in the form of sharing his official diary engagements with them in a bid to further reduce tensions between him and his father.
It was a stunning reversal of fortune. The couple who once generated frenzied headlines just by showing up were now facing a very public no. And to make matters worse, phones were out, cameras rolling, and within minutes, the footage spread across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Some users called it Hollywood's coldest red carpet moment. Others were less kind. This wasn't just a celebrity faux pas. This was a defining moment that threatened to cement their new reality. Outsiders looking in.
And so I thought that that had a huge potential to blow any chance that he had, but it is promising to see these new meetings taking place. I think the reason behind it, though, is fundamentally because Harry had a clear out, and Meghan had a clear out of their PR team on both.
Important royal events going forward by sharing his schedule. This is something that you and I discuss all the time. We're like, oh, the royals have something important coming up. Here comes Harry and Meghan to hijack the headlines. It's believed that although he...
But what made the rejection sting even more was the timing. Because while they were being turned away at the door, another storm was already brewing behind the scenes. Just weeks before the awards night, whispers were growing louder in industry circles. Netflix, the very platform that gave Harry and Meghan their biggest post-royal paycheck, was reportedly rethinking the relationship.
So we know what's happened so far. We know that the meetings happened. We've had this report about the diary being shared. What do you expect may happen with this situation now down the line in terms of Harry coming here, him having face-to-face possibly with the king?
I think he's trying to get reconciliation before the king.
Or have something to contribute to the culture. And these two have nothing. I think it's very telling, by the way. This sounds sinister, but you can't put anything past these two. I think they knew that the axe was about to drop from Netflix. And I think it's no coincidence that
their docuseries about the royal family had been a global hit, but follow-up projects had stumbled. Meghan's passion project, With Love Meghan, was supposed to be the next big thing, a polished, lifestyle-driven series that could elevate her brand beyond the royal drama. But 2 years into development, there's still no director, no casting announcements, and not even a confirmed filming schedule. One Hollywood insider put it bluntly, you can't be this far in and still be at square one. The strike came and went. No excuse. Netflix doesn't wait forever.
Obviously dropped a bunch more bombshells in that interview. It wasn't that long ago, so it's kind of crazy now that they're trying to share diary slots and trying to figure out how he can kind of get back in with the royal fold, because Queen Elizabeth II did say you can't
and sling their wares.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that obvious that the only successful commercial hit they had with Netflix was them talking about the British royal family? So call them up and go, hey, can we have 5? We need some more content, basically, is what that is.
Rumors began swirling that the platform was looking for a way to either downsize the deal or cut its losses entirely. And here's where the timing gets interesting. Some insiders believe the Critics' Choice appearance wasn't just about being seen. It was about proving to Netflix and other potential partners that they still had Hollywood pull. If that's true, the plan backfired spectacularly.
I just don't agree with this hybrid situation. They're like typical millennial royals who want to do like gig economy jobs in the royal family or something. I don't exactly know what their whole plan is. It's a very confused strategy. And I do agree that they've got a better team.
Harry and Meghan. And honestly, the Netflix is done, they're over it, coverage outweighs the, there could be some hope there coverage, which I agree. I think that the Sussexes are pushing as a last-ditch effort, or perhaps Meghan is trying to negotiate something with Amazon Prime or...
And the more you dig into their recent history in Hollywood, the more this snub starts to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. For most A-listers, invitations are currency. The red carpet isn't just for photos, it's where deals are made, alliances are formed, and careers are revived. But over the past 2 years, something has shifted for the Sussexes.
See it going anywhere.
We can't really mention Harry without Meghan. So there's an interesting claim about her time in the royal family, which has resurfaced from Valentine Lowe's royal biography, Courtiers. Now, we've had him on the show here. He's a wonderful source, and he alleged in it that Meghan had left.
I do think it's some type of strategy, but what I thought was so funny, Radar says insiders say Markle and Harry have struggled with creative direction. Putin, the Pope, Harry wanting to sit down with Trump. When it comes to their content, one streaming source described the Duchess's show as...
Several insiders say the couple has shown up uninvited to exclusive events before, assuming their names would open doors. In some cases, organizers let them in to avoid awkward headlines. But patience has worn thin. They're not part of the club anymore. One source told industry outlet Radar, "You can't just bypass the process. Hollywood runs on relationships, and they've burned too many."
They failed to support me. I want to ask, what do you make of this claim?
I'm sure she did. I think in some ways it's a rational thing to do. And, you know, I think a lot of people would have done exactly that. I think the problem is not necessarily with Meghan doing that. The problem is actually with the way that Harry and Meghan kind of piled in quite relentlessly.
What they think people want rather than being authentic. I totally agree with that, because you've said it a million times. That marketing podcast that went viral recently said it. Meghan should lean into the B word. Why is she trying to be Betty, the other B word? Stop trying to be Betty Crocker.
It's not just about the Critics' Choice Awards. Whispers of denied access have followed them at film festivals, after-party, and high-profile galas. And when it happens once, people call it a misunderstanding. When it keeps happening, that's a reputation problem. Which brings us to what actually went down in those tense few minutes at the Critics' Choice entrance.
I do think that even the Oprah interview, they did botch it, like certain aspects of it were botched. And, you know, could have been done differently and better in a way that would be less toxic and destructive. For example, you know, the racism allegation, you know, they have clearly kind of tried to change it.
But it's always Meghan with Jamie Kern Lima. Yeah. And it's always other content creators who are mocking the emissions from one Meghan Markle, telling us all that it's okay if we have failed. It's like she's talking to herself, right? She's trying to...
Witnesses say Meghan's reaction went through 3 distinct stages: surprise, disbelief, and frustration. She reportedly tried to reason with the staff, pointing out their celebrity status. But the guards, fully briefed on the event's strict rules, didn't flinch. Harry, on the other hand, was described as visibly tense, jaw tight, arms crossed. At one point, the couple seemed to exchange a few heated words between themselves before turning away.
I'm not, like, it's so insanely intense being a royal, like for all of them, including William, including Kate. I actually don't think that it's a problem to be trying to collect these little bits and pieces as a safeguard to protect yourself. The problem is not
them struggling to create content and they're trying to be things that they are not. But I actually really think at the end of the day, there is no there.
Yeah.
And it's why Meghan struggles. She cannot have a friend into her fake kitchen because she doesn't really have friends, I think.
Yeah.
And she can't.
It wasn't a long scene, maybe 2 or 3 minutes from start to finish, but in Hollywood time, that's an eternity, especially with cameras rolling. And because this is 2025, those cameras weren't just press photographers. Dozens of bystanders captured the moment from multiple angles. And before the couple had even reached their car, the clips were online.
But, there's always been this thing that Meghan's kind of intimated that she's got receipts. That was, in the days after Oprah, one of her friends went on ITV and said, we've got the receipts to prove everything. There was also a point where she was giving an interview and she said, I've never signed anything, so I can say whatever I want. So she
Across, and people can clock that from a mile away, and it's a very disturbing trait, very disturbing. People are repulsed by it.
You're absolutely right. It's the lack of authenticity that just makes you go, I need to turn this off because my body is rejecting it. Now, News Nation.
And when those clips hit social media, the reaction was brutal. Hollywood insiders will tell you that perception is often more important than reality. And perception right now, Harry and Meghan's stock is dropping fast. Memes flooded Twitter within hours. One viral post showed the couple at the blocked entrance with the caption, "When you forget to RSVP to your own PR stunt." Another joked, "Netflix password changed." Even late-night comedians weighed in, turning the incident into punchlines that reached millions more viewers.
The idea is that they're sitting on a kind of a massive nuclear warhead that they can drop at any point, but ultimately, actually, they destroyed themselves by the way that they just basically relentlessly attacked Harry's own family in a context when no one was fighting back. And so they may well.
But the most damaging commentary came from within the industry itself. Anonymous producers and publicists hinted that the couple's repeated disregard for event protocol wasn't just unprofessional, it was arrogant. "Hollywood is small," one PR veteran said. "Word gets around. If you don't respect the process, people stop inviting you." And this wasn't just about a single night. The ripple effect could be far bigger.
Remotely similar to the original contract, but they say that Netflix will attempt to keep Markle around at least for one more season of With Love as part of a piecemeal deal, so it can try once more to make her product line as ever
Being denied entry to a high-profile event isn't just embarrassing, it's a message. And that message was loud and clear. The Sussexes are no longer untouchable. For studios, it raises questions about whether they're worth the trouble. For brands, it's a warning that the controversy they attract might overshadow any partnership. And for fellow celebrities, it's a reminder that aligning too closely with them could mean inheriting some of that baggage. This is where the royal glow, once their greatest asset, starts to fade. A few years ago, their presence guaranteed headlines. Now, the headlines are often about what went wrong. And in a place like Hollywood, where your last headline often matters more than your last project, that's a dangerous shift. And yet, even after a night like this, their team tried to fight back. Within hours, friendly outlets began pushing the line that the whole thing was a misunderstanding, a mix-up with credentials, nothing more. But you can't unsee the footage. The public saw the firm shake of the head from security. They saw the couple's frustrated expressions. They saw them walk away. Worse, multiple sources confirmed that the event organizers had been fully aware the couple might try to attend without formal credentials and had instructed staff accordingly. This wasn't a surprise to them. It was a planned decision. Once that detail leaked, the spin fell apart. Instead of calming the narrative, the PR push made it worse, with headlines calling it damage control and freefall, and a masterclass in how not to handle bad press. Which leaves one question hanging over all of this. Is there any way back? Hollywood loves a redemption story. Stars have come back from worse. Public meltdowns, scandals, even career-ruining flops. But the ones who make it back do two things. They show humility and they play by the rules. For Harry and Meghan, that means no more gatecrashing, no more entitlement, and a lot more bridge building. They'd have to prove that they can bring value to projects beyond controversy, whether that's through meaningful creative work, smart collaborations, or genuinely positive publicity. But here's the catch. The longer they wait to make those changes, the harder the climb becomes. The industry moves fast, and attention spans are short. Today's snub can become tomorrow's irrelevance if you're not careful. So will they adapt, humble themselves, and find a way back into Hollywood's inner circle? Or will this Critics' Choice humiliation be remembered as the moment the door closed for good? The answer might not come today or even this year, but make no mistake, the clock is ticking.